3-day lockouts are causing early burnout. We need war mode. Blizzard, buy decent servers and stop layering. Warsong Gulch is really a horrible experience. Where is the SoD barbershop? My friend, I have some unfortunate news for you. And why the rune system is flawed. To nobody's surprise, the community around Season of Discovery, and really just the WoW community in general, is up in arms over a plethora of topics, and that's what we're going to talk about today because Blizzard is apparently listening to the community when it comes to Season of Discovery. And up first, we got a funny one. Permaban anyone buying and selling gold, bots, streamers, and everyday players. So just off the board, over the table, ban everyone. That's what this individual, Johnny Roomba, is saying. It's an issue. I am not buying gold. Yet potions are 80 silver apiece, shards are 1 gold apiece, elixirs are 70 silver apiece. So I'm not seeing this. I'm on Crusader Strike Alliance. This is the most heavily botted server. This is the most populated server on the most populated side, and this is about twice as much as what I'm paying. So I'm not understanding that. I will have to check the auction house. This was only 2 hours ago. So how do you expect players to pay this twice a week, even if the gold from quests is there? Well, Blizzard provides the gold from quests. He says it, he answers his own question in the same sentence. How do you expect players to pay this? Okay. Even if the gold from quests is there. Well, if the gold from quests is there, then players should have no problem paying that. And even as a casual player, it's not hard to make gold in Season of Discovery. Just go make a mage. The economy is ruined from bots and people buying gold and nothing is done. Blizzard is tanking another game. My gold count is sitting below 11 gold on 3 tunes because I refuse to be the problem. My time in WoW is turning into forcing every questing in-game to be completed to stay afloat. So first off, if you're literally doing every single quest and you have less than 11 gold on all 3 characters, you're doing something seriously wrong. On top of that, if you have 3 gold and you don't have an alchemist yet, I don't know why you're complaining. If you have 3 different tunes, level an alchemist, it's not that hard, and the mats are cheap. So I refuse to be part of the problem. I'm really not understanding what he's talking about, but he says, please just fix the problem, permaban at the IP level, ban VPNs from Battle.net, I don't care that the losers will cry about it, no one wants them in the player base for buying gold. So they did just ban, what was it, a week ago? They banned about 180,000 accounts for botting and buying gold. So they are already rectifying this. And I would argue, as Super Punjab down here says, it's actually cheaper with bots pumping all the items onto the AH. Yes, as a tailor, on launch I was making 2 gold apiece from small silk packs. I'm now making about 60 silver. And not even making, that's just gross. That's not even the auction house cut or the material price. But with 500,000 bots running in and out of stockades, farming silk cloth every single hour on the hour, do you know what that's doing to the auction house price of silk cloth? It's tanking it. It's making my cost cheaper. So I'm not complaining about that. Now, the only time this comes into an issue is if you're someone that's trying to go into a GDKP and you're competing against bots, farmers, and gold buyers. But there's a simple solution to that. Don't go into GDKPs, and you won't have any issues with the bots or the gold buyers. If anything, they're going to make things cheaper on the auction house for you. It's simple supply and demand. Where's the SoD barbershop? Sorry, bud. 3-day lockouts causing early burnout. So this is a hot topic. Now, the reason they did 3-day lockouts and not weekly reset lockouts like in other classic era and retail servers is because the season is so short. The phases inside of Season of Discovery are not taking as long as, say, a Wrath of the Lich King Classic to Cata Classic launch. It's much faster, it's much more consolidated, so they're doing it in half the time, right? We're getting probably 2-month phases, 2.5-month phases at the most out of Season of Discovery. Now, a 3-day lockout when you are at the level cap of 25 and all you can do is BFD, yes, I'll admit the burnout is kind of there on BFD, but make an alt. I mean, I'm running BFD on, my Warlock's about to hit 25, so I'll be doing 3 BFD runs every single reset. And that can either add to the burnout, or you can say, hey, it's a different experience, different runes on a different character, chasing different gear. it can stay entertaining. I think that this issue will become less of an issue as the level cap and the banded level phases increase, right? Because next phase, we're getting all of Scarlet Monastery, we're getting Gnomeregan, which is going to be so much bigger than BFD. I don't think people understand that Gnomer is probably going to be twice the size of BFD. And we may see 20-mans. We may see 20-man Gnomeregan raids. On top of that, people are going to be farming the old BFD for whatever they want, for pearls, for transmog gears. Yes, I know, like the barbershop, there's no transmog, but you know, you can still wear the cool stuff around until it's time to get up and do stuff. But I think as the level cap increases, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but the burnout is going to become less and less, just because there's going to be more to do. I mean, look at everything we can do at 60, all the attunements, all the raids. Anyways, we'll move on, but let me know what you think. We need war mode, this level 10 RDF says. I find the most of the servers are leaning too heavily on Alliance side. Well, they are. I cannot find many people to fight in Ashenvale as an Alliance member. Personally, Alliance main, Crusader Strike, I've never had this issue. Ashenvale is usually fairly populated. There's a bunch of layers. Try to get on layer 1, you're good to go. As someone who doesn't have a lot of time to play the game due to having a full-time job and kids, I'm finding it harder and harder to enjoy PvP without it either being one-sided or unfair matchups. Yes, just get a group to do pre-mades with, get a nice group of friends, or look at the trade chat, look in LFG channel, there's constantly pre-mades being made. There's no reason to really complain about it anymore because the opportunity to get into a pre-made is everywhere. And it's not even going to be gate kept behind gear. The second I dinged 25 on my mage, I was already getting into pre-mades, and I was in greens. So it's not that hard, just get a pre-made, go into it. Do I think it's unfair? Do I believe that there should be a solo queue versus solo queue separated from pre-made versus pre-made queue? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's not fun either way. It's not a ton of fun to get into your 100th pre-made against a group of solo queued people and just graveyard camp them. There's no fun in that. There's no tactics in that. At least for me. I like a good, fair game, a pre-made versus pre-made. You know, for a guy with a full-time job and kids, you sure do find a lot of time to post stuff in these forums. That's funny. Buy decent servers and stop layering. Nostalrius had 13,000 peak players online at the same time with no layering. Source DKP minus. How come? Whoa. Go back to the top here. We got routed. How comes that Blizzard, now owned by Microsoft, a multi-billion dollars company, can't achieve what someone achieved in a garage? Yeah, and Nost PvP server ran like garbage with 3-second plus input lag. No thanks. Yeah, layering is there for a reason. They are constantly working on their layering issues, mainly focused around Ashenvale, but that will inevitably affect the entire world. There's many blue posts out there talking about how layering is working, how they intended it to initially work, and what they're working on for the future of layering. I know on Crusader Strike, layering has actually been good. Hasn't been perfect, but to give them some points, it's not what it was 2 weeks ago. It was an absolute nightmare 2 weeks ago, and it's getting better. Warsong Gulch is a really horrible experience. Again, I just wanted to pull this up because this is one of the primary issues in the community right now, is the pre-made versus solo queue. I'm not going to go over it again. I already gave my opinion on this. I believe there should be separate queues, but I don't believe that you shouldn't be able to bitch about this continuously when it's extremely easy to just go in chat and get a pre-made group. That's my opinion. If you disagree, let me know, and that's perfectly fine. But that's my opinion, but I still think Blizzard should make separate queues. Arathi Basin is not going to be fun. Blizzard, Arathi Basin is not going to be fun if we have pre-mades versus solo queue. It's going to be an even bigger nightmare than Warsong Gulch. God, I can't even think about Alterac Valley. Can you imagine? I don't want to. Why the rune system is flawed. I created a priest tonight, learned about the meditation system, but didn't think much of it. Started in Night Elf, so Teldrassil starting area, and spent about 15 to 20 minutes looking for help to get my rune for Prayer of Mending. Finally, gave up. Got to 12 and decided to get my second meditation from someone. Finally arrived at Stormwind, but logged off to have my lock make me a couple tailoring items. Alright, send the mail, log back into my priest, logged in, asked in general trade, and say trying to get a priest to slash pray for me. So he's trying to unlock the priest rune, which requires another priest to target you and slash pray. I was trying for so long, my mail arrived with my goods over an hour and no help. I'm still asking in various chat channels as I type this out on the forum. So I mean, some runes are extremely hard to get, and it's really hard for me to believe that somebody spent over an hour asking in trade. I see people doing this all of the time. Almost every time I'm in Stormwind, right between the auction house and the mailbox, that little alleyway, there's almost always a priest sitting up on boxes, emoting over other priests. So I don't believe that this is that big of an issue. I think this guy may have been just very unlucky depending on when he was on. So this was posted 12 hours ago. It's 11 a.m. So he was posting this 11 p.m. and I'm not sure what server he was on, but those nighttime servers, they made a blue post a while back saying that in the early morning and late night, they're going to make layering scarce. I don't know why they want to do that when it's much more fun, in my opinion, to run through the city and see a crap load of people out there. Honestly, middle of the night, super early morning, you can probably not run 10 layers. You could probably run 3 or 4. Make it a better experience for everyone. Make it to where we can actually interact with people. I mean, we can't play WoW offline for a reason. It's meant to be an MMORPG, which means we're playing it online with other people. We should actually see the other people in our layer, in our server. And I think making that appear less populated at certain hours has effects like this. It just does, and it makes it less enjoyable. But again, that's on the topic of layering. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. We covered a lot today, but I think it's things that we need to be talking about, especially since Blizzard has said and reiterated, and apparently have been, listening to the community's voice more. So I think it's very important. I've enjoyed playing WoW for, what, 18 and a half, 19 years now. It's 2024. So I love the game, and I'd love to see it keep improving. And we're all waiting to see what happens after the final phase, what happens to our characters. So we're going to keep an eye on all this. Let me know what you think, and I hope to see you on the next one.